Hey everyone, welcome back to my second channel, and I would say excuse my makeup-free face, but I really don't care. It's too hot today to be wearing any makeup, so this is what you're getting. I have just got back from being up in Headingley in Leeds, where I visited a really lovely second-hand bookshop and got myself quite a little haul of, if I can even lift these all at once, books! Yeah, I got all of these. Oh my god, they're heavy and I'm not strong. I thought it would be fun to do a little book haul video here on my second channel so you could see a few of the things I got. First up, we have this adorable little guy, which is The Robin, a biography by Stephen Moss. This looks absolutely adorable. It's kind of like a story of the robin throughout the year, what happens to them, how they live, how they survive, this author's experience of being around robins and seeing them, and it's also got some beautiful, gorgeous little illustrations and things in here as well. I'm trying to find some. There we go. And it just looks absolutely lovely. I'm not quite sure what to expect from this book, but I'm going to go into it. I'm going to enjoy it. There's some cute little poems about robins in here as well. I think it's just going to be a nice, wholesome experience, and I'm excited to dive into it. Hi, gorgeous girl. You happy? You might be able to hear Kubi panting in the background because she's just been out for her midday peas and she is quite warm. It's very, very hot outside today, so there she is having a drink. Honey baby. This next one, I don't know what to think of. This is called Women Who Work Too Much by Tamu Thomas, and I am definitely a woman who works too much, and it would be nice to be able to find a way to cut down on that a little bit and kind of figure out why I feel the need to work so much constantly all the time, and kind of figure out a way to switch off and help me, you know, be like, nope, this is the end of my workday, stop thinking about it. But at the same time, I'm always very dubious about these kinds of self-help books and the like. So I figured it was like £3. Why not give it a try, see what I think? And if it's absolute nonsense, I can probably make a book review of it. And if it's not nonsense and it helps me, then even better. Why not? That would be fun. I then got two little poetry books. This one is called Life in Verse, Journeys Through Poetry, and it's just a nice little anthology where the poems in this book are all selected in different sections by different people. So Robert Webb selected the poems in the section on modern life. You've got Keris Matthews, who selected the poems for Britain in Poetry. Mallory Blackman, who you might know because she has written so many young adult novels, selected the poems for the section Searching for a Voice. And was she the last one? No, then you have Sheila Hancock, who selected the Love and Loss section. And I can't actually think who she is. I'm not sure if I know who that is. But yeah, you've got some really, really amazing people selecting what seems like a really amazing selection of poems in here, and I just thought it would be really, really cool. You've got absolute classics in here. You've got stuff by Maya Angelou, Roald Dahl, Langston Hughes, E. Cummings, and then some poets that I'm not as familiar with, like Robert Lowell and John Berryman. But it seems like a really, really great collection that I am very excited to dive into. The other one is a little bit more of a wild card, and I bought it purely because of the name. This is Andy Brown and John Burnside's Goose Music. These are two poets that I've never heard of before, but I loved the title of their collection because, I'm dropping it, me and Kieran are always calling each other silly geese, and it's this ongoing joke between us. And the flick through that I had, this actually seems really promising and like it's going to be really fun. So I'm excited to dive into this. It was like, again, £4, so why not give it a go? And maybe I'll find some new poets that I really like. Maybe I won't, but I'll always have Goose Music. Sometimes you just need to take a gamble like that, you know? Then I got some nature books, because you know me and nature books. I found a copy of I Spare by Kira Mulvaney. Hello, gorgeous girl. You're my sun bear, aren't you? You're the opposite of an ice bear. I know. Hi, baby. You tired? You got this. You're doing so well in the sun. You are. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Do you want to try having a lie down in the bathroom where it's cool? Yeah? You got this. You got plenty of water? Yeah? You do. I just filled it up, didn't I? Love you. So, yeah, I Spare is basically a book about a natural and unnatural history. Careful, baby bear. Sorry, a natural and unnatural history of a polar bear. It's a book about polar bears. What more can I say? It features adorable photos, as well as one man's story of studying polar bears, being around them, and understanding who polar bears are. I love polar bears. I think they're wonderful. I finally got to see some in person at Yorkshire Wildlife Park last month with, actually, no, sorry, it was still this month. This month with my sister, and it was incredible. They're so much bigger than I realised. Like, their paws are huge. And there was this one guy who was just like playing around in the water and having so much fun, and he was like pulling all these reeds up and playing with them and then like diving in and splashing around, and he looked to be having a great time. So big fan of polar bears, and I can't wait to read a little bit more about them. I also picked up Adam Nicholson's Life Between the Tides, which is all start that bit again, which is a book all about rock balls and life that lives in rock balls, quite literally, between the tides, on beaches, all this life in places that we don't really take note of life being, and I thought that sounded kind of amazing. I am a big fan of reading about rock pools and beach life in general. That's something that I really, really enjoy, and I thought this would be great. Like, what makes up the oceans? Because most of the ocean isn't water. It's actually little microorganisms that live in it, and lots of bacteria and algae and all kinds of really amazing things. And what I found is I went for lunch with my friend Joe after I'd been book shopping, and I was showing him some of the books, and I opened this one up, and it turns out it's actually signed by the author, and it was given to someone called Sue. So we had a great time together coming up with all these theories about who Sue is and why she would give away a book from Adam like this. Sue, how could you? We had a great time. We also dove a little bit into Adam's history and his personal life with a little Google search, and interesting man. He has lived a life. A bit of a wild card I got here, and this is Jenny Uglow's A Little History of British Gardening. I'm not much of a gardener. I can't keep any plants alive to save my life, never mind theirs. But my dad's always been very interested in gardening, and I feel like this one is going to be a really, really interesting read to figure out kind of essentially the colonisation of plants, you know? There was very much an era, or several eras in British history where we were going out and exploring the world, and part of that meant we also brought back a lot of plants and tried to figure out how can we grow them in the UK, how can we, grow these plants for ourselves, and some of them have now become kind of natural here, some of them haven't, but we still have them in gardens. There's a lot more that goes into gardening, the politics behind it, and also just the kind of technical aspect of like, how do you figure out what can grow where, what growing conditions it needs, how do you lay out a garden, all that sort of thing. And I feel like all of that is going to be covered in this book. I am very excited to dig into it. I think it's going to be fascinating. My friend Joe was like, this sounds like it could be the most boring book in the world, and I was like, really? Because I think it sounds like a really interesting one. So we'll see which one of us is right. Won't we, Kiwi Bear? Are you on Mama's team or Uncle Joe's team? Who are you supporting? Oh, you're on Mama's team. You're on Mama's team. Thank you. Thank you. See, she always sides with me. I feed her more, don't I? But Uncle Joe takes you to the beach, doesn't he? Oh, hello. Hello, lump. Gorgeous one. Do you want to help me with the next books? Can you help me? I love you. Next up, just for fun, I got this chonky book on ancient Egypt. Hello, baby. This one is quite a basic one. It's just full of photos and little references, and it goes to different time periods, different important sites, what life was like in ancient Egypt. It's a big book. It's a chunky one. I've got a girl crawling all over me. I thought it just seemed like a fun one that, you can pick up for 5 minutes while you're, I don't know, waiting for the washing machine to finish or something like that. I like having books that I can just pick up, read a page, pop down for later. It helps calm my brain when I'm anxious. It gives me something to do, while I'm waiting for tasks like that to finish. It's nice to have around, and I've always been interested in ancient Egypt. And even though I'm not sure how much new information is going to be in this, I thought it was nice. It's nice to have something that kind of consolidates it all. It seems really interesting. I can't wait. I think it's going to be fun. And again, this was £4, so why not? Love cheap secondhand books. These last two are both nature books, and they're quite old, but I like that, Actually, we'll start with this one. This is David Attenborough's Life of Mammals. I've had his David Attenborough's Life in Cold Blood. I remember picking it up and reading it and enjoying it, and I still have it to this day, and I love that book. It's one of the books, along with a couple of others I've showed in other videos, that really got me into reading nature books and enjoying it. This is one from the same sort of series, but it's obviously centered around mammals, and even though it's quite old, I think it's going to be enjoyable. I love reading David Attenborough's books like this. I think it's great. They always tell a great story about the animals involved, and I think it's going to be nice to have for the nostalgia factor as well as the interesting education, cute animal factor, So this is going to be a good one. And then the other is Deep Jungle by Fred Pierce, and this is a similar thing. It was a nature book written alongside a nature TV series, and it's, like I say, a couple of years old now. I think this was... Actually, let me find the year for you. Hey, Virgie's doing. Is someone warm? Are you warm? I know, but you're doing so well. You are. 2005. So this... See, 2005 doesn't sound long ago, but it was nearly 20 years ago. So this is a little bit of an older book, but it is filled with so many of the most beautiful photos. And let's be honest, a lot of the stuff in terms of, like, you know, the lives and plants and animals aren't really going to be that much out of date. The interesting stuff about people living in these environments is still going to be interesting. A lot of the conservation factors and the threats to these environments are sadly still the same 20 years on. So as long as you kind of go into it knowing that time has passed and things will have changed, I think it's still going to be a fun, interesting, enjoyable experience to read. You can still get a lot out of books like this. So they are the books I got today. I just thought it would be fun to kind of fill you in on what I bought and why, and what I'll be reading over the next coming weeks, days, months, years, lifetimes. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching today. I am sorry. I'm very, very exhausted. I'm so tired. It's warm here today. And I am putting off editing my main channel video because I'm thoroughly exhausted by those books, and I still have like 90 minutes of content to film for it, so fun, fun, fun. But yeah, thank you for watching today. I appreciate you guys and all the time you spend here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you. If you want to keep up to date on everything that I read in general, you can follow me over on Goodreads. Otherwise, you can keep up to date on all my general life stuff, photos I take, places I go, things I do, over on Instagram by following me at Rachel Oates, with a 0 instead of an O, because my name was taken. I'm annoying like that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. I'm tired. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and it's not as hot where you are as it is here. And I will see you again soon.